There is a trap on the spiritual path that almost no one notices. Most people believe the problem is the ego. Others think it is the mind. Some say the obstacle is attachment, desire, or ignorance. But many Eastern teachers point to something far more radical. The greatest obstacle on the spiritual path is not the ego, it is the seeker. One teacher once said something that confused many of the people who came to learn. What you are looking for is what is looking. Until that simple sentence is truly understood, the spiritual search can continue for decades, because the search itself creates the illusion that there is someone who needs to find the truth. Almost every spiritual journey begins in the same way. At some point, the idea arises that life as it is now is not enough. And from that idea, a quiet conclusion forms. There must be somewhere, some realization, some state of understanding where the truth will finally be found. Perhaps through meditation, perhaps through deeper insight, perhaps through a higher state of consciousness. And the moment this idea appears, another assumption is born alongside it. If there is something to reach, then someone must reach it. This is how the seeker is born, someone who meditates, who studies teachings, who observes thoughts, who strives to become more aware. Yet Eastern teachers often interrupt this entire logic with a single question: who is the one who wants to awaken? Who exactly is this I that wants to get there? If you look carefully, every spiritual search begins with an identity, the idea that you are a person, a mind, a personal story. From that identity, the spiritual project begins. I need to understand more, I need to evolve, I need to become free. But Eastern teachers point to something deeply unsettling. You are not the person you take yourself to be. Here is what most seekers never notice. The ego is not trying to find the truth. The ego is trying to survive through the spiritual search. As long as the idea remains that you are someone separate trying to awaken, the search itself keeps that identity alive. This creates a strange paradox. The seeker believes it is searching for truth, but according to Eastern teachers, the seeker is simply the illusion attempting to repair itself. Some go even further. The person is only a shadow of reality. What you call yourself is only a shadow projected by the mind. When this structure is not questioned, spirituality becomes a cycle. A person reads teachings, has an insight, feels a moment of clarity. For a moment, it seems something has been understood. But then another thought appears. I need to stabilize this. I need to deepen it. Maybe something is still missing, and the search continues. New methods, new teachers, new interpretations, always with the feeling that the answer is just ahead. Eastern teachers have seen this pattern with remarkable clarity. As long as you believe you are the seeker, the search will never end. And there is an even subtler detail hidden here. The ego does not fear enlightenment. It desires it because it imagines that it will be the one who possesses it, as if peace could become a spiritual trophy, as if awakening were simply the final achievement of the seeker. But for these teachers, truth is not something to be achieved. It is not in the future. It is already present now. What creates the sense of distance is only one simple belief, the belief that you are a separate entity living inside experience. They put it directly: you are the reality itself. The awareness that sees thoughts is not a thought. What perceives the mind is not the mind, and what perceives the search has never been trapped inside the search. Yet another subtle mistake often appears. You observe your thoughts and say, I am aware of my thoughts. The teacher would point out a small error in that sentence. It still implies a separate I observing awareness. In truth, there is only awareness, and the I is simply another thought appearing within it. Many spiritual teachings stop at you are the observer of the mind, but Eastern teachers go even further. Even the observer can become a subtle identity, a final hiding place for the idea of me. That is why they repeat something extremely simple: you need not become what you already are. Every attempt to reach truth begins with the same mistaken assumption, the assumption that someone separate is trying to find it. When that assumption begins to be seen clearly, something unexpected happens. The search begins to lose its urgency, not because a final answer was found, but because something simple becomes obvious. What you truly are was never involved in the problem. The search was happening only in the mind, in ideas, in concepts, in the stories we tell about ourselves. But what is aware of those stories never needed to change, never needed to evolve, never needed to awaken. Perhaps this is why Eastern teachers describe reality in paradoxical terms. Wisdom tells me I am nothing, love tells me I am everything. Between the two, my life flows. To the mind, this sounds impossible. How can someone be nothing and everything at the same time? But for them, this contradiction points to something simple. What you truly are cannot fit inside the identity of a person. Perhaps this is why their teaching feels so radical. They do not offer a new method. They do not promise a special state of consciousness. They simply point to what has always been present. The only thing that seemed to separate you from it was one persistent belief, the belief that there is someone who needs to get there. When that belief is examined carefully, something curious happens. The seeker begins to lose its reality, and when the seeker disappears, the search disappears with it. Eastern teachers call the seeker the last illusion. When that illusion is finally seen clearly, the search simply loses its center, not because someone found the truth, but because it becomes obvious that there was never anyone separate looking for it.